Hello, and welcome to my 7th developer diary. This is going to be the second to last one before the deadline. I probably will continue making a few more after the initial deadline for the game because I've still got to keep working on it for Showcase because it is practically finished now. The game's almost just nearly finished. I'd be happy to submit what I've done so far. But yeah, I'm going to carry on working on it. Possibly add another level into it because the way that the game's going to end at the moment, it's a bit it cuts off. It feels like it cuts off to me. There's no real defined end to it, so I feel like make another level, possibly make a boss fight. So that would be pretty cool to have as a level. But yeah, let's have a look at what I've been doing this week. So as you can see by the sprint sheet, I'll just zoom that in a little bit because it looks a bit small. But yeah, what we've got done this week is I've finished the render scene, finished the asset portfolio document, which I'll show you in a second. I've rendered the asset portfolio video, created some sounds and put them into the game so they all work now. The combat system is finally working. I've also set up a controller to work with the game, which I'm going to plug in now, because otherwise I won't be able to show you. And I've also just created a scratched arrow decal. Basically the decal is like a little scratched arrow, but I've put that into the game and then I'm going to put it onto the pillars and stuff. It just kind of gives the player kind of point in the right direction. Because when I was doing a little bit of beta testing yesterday with some people in my class, I was just letting them play through the game and stuff to see if I could find any bugs. One of my tutors, Mike, actually said if I put a decal into the game and just put them on the pillars, just like a little kind of indication on where to go, it doesn't actually tell the player how to finish the game, but it kind of just points them in the right direction, because he said that when he was playing the game he didn't have any sense of direction. He didn't know what he was supposed to be doing or where he was going, so having just a few of those dotted around pointing the player in the right direction, then it'd basically give them a way of knowing how to find the way to the end. Otherwise they'd just be wandering around forever basically. But yeah, so the work that we'll complete for this week is basically everything that hasn't been done so far. So just write 3 pages of the design document, which isn't a top priority at the moment because the submission is next week and there's still a little bit of stuff to be done. But I'm also going to add the animation for the chest to give power-ups, and the level design document needs to be finished, which it's about halfway to, it's about 75% done. I'm also got to make the gameplay walkthrough video, which is basically a video of me explaining every single aspect of the game. Actually, no, I've got them mixed up. The game narrative video is the one where I've got to explain everything that's in the game and why it's there and how I made it. The game walkthrough video is basically just like a gameplay trailer sort of thing. And the final thing I'm going to fix this week is fix the chest power-ups, which only give the power-up to the player if the enemy steps inside the trigger volume, rather than if the player steps inside the trigger volume, which isn't how I wanted it to work. But yeah, let's jump over to the portfolio document that I made. For some reason that's gone really small. But yeah, basically this is half or a quarter of the actual level design document, but it was for a different assignment. So this is basically just focusing on the individual assets that went into the game, like obviously the character, and then just some in-game screenshots to show how I've used the assets that I've made. And basically this one will be marked on the the topology and how the models were made, rather than what they do in the game. It might be marked a little bit on how the are used in the game, because obviously if I made something that's like ridiculously high poly, like if I had this portal, which is 6,000 polys, if I had like 100 of them, it wouldn't be very effective. So it's getting marked on that, but because there's only one of them, it's fine to have that many polys for the asset. But yeah, I'll just show you quickly the scratched arrow decal that I made. So it's transparent texture, and basically you just throw that onto any asset in the game, and it'll basically overlay the texture onto the geometry of it, and it'll kind of like warp itself around the geometry if it's on like an angle, which is a really cool feature in Unreal 4. Like, I didn't even know about it until Mike told me about it yesterday. But yeah, putting those in is going to make it a lot easier for the player to find out where they're supposed to be going rather than wandering around aimlessly. Yeah, we've got a few bugs that have come up from beta testing yesterday. So we've got the camera actually works now, so I'm going to just strike that through. But the player can still fall through the pillars, which is a bit strange, and it's just kind of one of them things that needs fixing. But it's not a huge thing that needs fixing. And the texture on the ceiling, noticed there was a little bit of stretching on it. So like if you look at it from certain points, then you'll be able to see like a bit of stretching in the middle of it, which it's very simple to fix. This one where the player can activate the second camera, it's basically when you step into the hallway, it steps into another camera. The player can actually activate that while they're still in the prison room, and when you're in that camera view and still in the prison room, it makes it really difficult to see the player, and kind of difficult to control and get out of the room. So you just need to move the trigger volume back a little bit. I think that should fix that problem. One thing that was noted was the cameras in the hallway. They're a little bit too high up, so it makes it quite difficult to see what you're doing. The player cannot deal damage to enemies. That's actually been fixed now as well. So the combat system, obviously, it completely works now. Like, you can kill the enemies, which is great. And the final one is the player needs some form of indication on where to go in the level, which is the decals. So I've just finished putting the decal in, just as like a little test to make sure it works. So let's jump into the level and have a look what's been done. So I'll load up the lab first, 'cause that's like the main thing that I finished this week. Yeah, save all that. But yeah, this is the render scene. It was practically finished last time I showed it you, but you know, it's completely finished and working now. Everything's working the way it should. So let's have a little playthrough of it, just show the sounds and everything that's been used in the
demonic presence has gripped Shanghai.
as you can hear.
The leader of this force is known to the locals as Yao Guai Yao Ji. She has returned after 1,000 years to reclaim what used to be hers. You are Subject 17, part of a secret organization known as the Subjects. You were created to stop them, even if it costs you your life.
Battery pack. But yeah, everything completely works in the game. Like, turn the light on and off, jump around and stuff. You can do the dodge with the shoulder buttons, and you can control the layout of the image just to let people know how to play the game. But yeah, like a little message on the screen that pops up when you get in the distance. Doors, they open up, you walk away, shoot them. One of the books that was found is this part of the wall here. Walk outside. So I just need to fix the collision volumes on this. Everything's perfect at this level. Jump through the door, load up the second level. Hopefully. It does take a little while to load up the first time you do it, because obviously I've just started up the engine again. But usually it only takes like a couple of seconds or so to actually load up the level. But yeah, you will notice on the bottom of the screen there is an enemy health bar. that's because for some reason it wouldn't update the health bar if the enemy's health bar was above the actual enemy itself. As you can see, sword that light actually pulsates before, but it does pulsate. Like it kind of shows the player that there's something there and they kind of need it. Later on, I probably will work on making it so that you can't actually deal very much damage unless you've got this sword, which it shouldn't be too difficult to do, but it's not a priority right now. Obviously, you get really well, as you see, when you get rid of certain distance of the character and the enemy, you can actually see how much health you've got. And now, when I attack, take damage off them. It's great. He won't be able to take damage off me at the moment because for some reason if they're not moving around, they've got like this guy's got no target points to go to and from, so it's just like letting them around, and that affects how he can damage me, which is kind of funny. But all the other enemies can actually damage me. They can't really kill me, which is strange. I need to put it so that the health reaches 0. Shows a splash screen saying you died, but that's so as you saw just then, got the little arrow on the floor. That's basically the health that I can eradicate and just put more of them in the level. That it kind of just shows the player that this thing. Yeah, that's it. Realise if I step into this now, it kind of slaps into me. No big deal. Show you guys. I can't remember if I'll show this or not. When you get close to the door, you should press E. Obviously, I made that before I put the controller in, so it's now pressed X. Behind us. I've also changed the pillars so that they don't move up and down as quickly. So as you can see, like it's not like snapping to and from different sets. It's like you've actually got time to think about it. Normally this will be moving on while it's moving down, and it waits for it to finish now. It's a lot slower to control. Another enemy here. But yeah. Need to sort that out as well. Like you can literally just tap it, deal damage. You don't need to go all the way through the animation. So I need to make sure that you have to hold it before you actually deal damage. See when its health reaches 0, at last. But yeah, like I said, if I step on this, it won't actually give me full health. It should. It's like an enemy step, but it steps out of the points. It's really strange, but oh well. What I was also going to do is, with the decals, basically a secret hallway roof, and I was going to have it so that on the pillars below the openings to it, you have a decal that shows that, like a little blood splatter or something, like water splatter or something, to show the player that there is something going fine. It's not really like an integral thing to find, it's just a nice feature I've put in, just for fun. And I've also added like a little texture to the hallway so that it's got like things. Eventually when you step through this, you'll actually jump to the game, or in the next level, you can jump to the next level. But for now, with the hallway in the ceiling, what I was going to do is have like a water splatter rather than a blood splatter, because if I had a blood splatter, it might make players go, no, I don't want to go up there because my health is kind of low. So yeah, I'll put water gold drip thing down. There's no birds, they don't die if they go up there. Yeah. But no, that's pretty much it. Like, everything's nearly finished at last. Really far away from the level here, I don't know why. But yeah, hopefully by next week we're completely finished and I'll be able to show you the final game, because then all I've got to do is package it and so that it's ready to kind of play on any computer that doesn't have Unreal installed, because at the moment it won't compile for some reason, so I just need to find out why that is and just fix that. But yeah, thank you for watching, and we'll see you next week. Bye bye.